I sit on a council of 13 people that take orders only from the Rothschild Tribunal in London, which they claim they take their orders directly from Lucifer.
I was the manager of Zodiac Productions, which Zodiac Productions, its name's been changed since then. I'm not even sure what they call it now, but it's the largest music conglomerate in the world. It owns RCA Records, Columbia Records, Motown Records, owns almost all the concert booking agencies in the United States. And that's not even the name of the company that owns it. The name of the company that owns it is Brenner Enterprises, and Brenner Enterprises is owned by Chase Manhattan. Chase Manhattan's owned by Standard Oil, and Standard Oil is owned by the Lords of London. You can track it on back. You kind of get the idea after a while. But I was the managing president of Zodiac Productions. It was one of my jobs as being one of these 13 people. Thus, I got to know many of the people who produce music and sing the music and play the music that you play. Now, one of the closest friends that I got during that time that I obtained was a man named David Crosby. Crosby, Still, Nash & Young. And I saw David the day before Christmas last year, talked with him. I got him away from this witch that he had with him. He told her to go shopping. We were in West Hollywood, and I was witnessing around to people I knew. We went off in this store, and we started talking. I said, David, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left. I said, now I'll have to explain some of this when I'm done, because you're not going to understand it all unless you know something about music. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? He said, come on, Lance, you know what the reason is. I said, please, David, I don't want to guess. Tell me what the main reason is. He says, the same as when you were in, so that we can place spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. I'll explain what that means in a minute. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He says, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music. I said, thank you. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on and is placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master is cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive offices. And it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. As I tell many Christian parents, you can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there. If that's too hard for you to believe, I'm sorry. That's why they do it. Now listen to me. This is why rock music's addicting. Have you ever seen kids that got rid of their music? They go around like this. They can't wait to find a rock station somewhere, and they sneak off just like getting a cigarette or a fix, because it's addicting. That's why they can't give it up. The rest of the conversation was this. You can't cast a spell on a Christian, but you can get a Christian to cast a spell on themselves. If you give the permission for the spell to work, being a Christian won't block it. And rock music is not just a song. It is supernatural music that which is carefully designed by their spirit guides or familiar spirits in the form of spells. Now, although the devil's music's power is the music and God's music is the words, much of the songs are written in what we call witch language. To give you kind of an idea, many of you talk on a CB, unless you know what a smoky is, and a 10-4, and a front door and back door and rocking chair and these type of things, you don't know what you're talking about. Same with witches. When you're in the first and second level, you have to learn over 2,000 words that said by anybody else means something totally different than when you say them. Elton John has said he's never written a song or sung a song that wasn't in witch language. And I want to show you something. See how many kids in here will be honest, and adults. How many remember and have heard at least several times a song called Hotel California? Somebody tell me what it meant. Quickly, somebody tell me what it meant. Huh? That's pretty close. But from the words, what did it mean? Well, that's more of a guess. See, most people can't tell you. That's why when people do drugs and they listen to songs in which language, they get some of the meaning. But most of the time, they can't tell you. Stop and think how many songs are out there that you really like, and you don't have any idea what the person was talking about. Beyond the Yellow Brick Road? How about The Destroyer by Kiss? Can anybody tell me what it's about? Kiss said in it, kids, kill your parents. They're talking about Helter Skelter. Beatles sung Helter Skelter in which language? Nobody knew what it meant. Manson did because he belongs to the process. Helter Skelter is a several thousand-year-old word. Most of the music is either about Helter Skelter or a place called the Night Winds, which is what Hotel California is about, and different doctrines of witchcraft. You listen to them, your parents let you listen to them, and they have no idea. Kiss openly bragged how they were gaining control of people through their music because the people played their music. They told how they didn't form their own group. Their church, because they were ordained ministers of the Satanist church, placed them together. And that's how most of the music is done. David Crosby, when him and Crosby, Still, Nash & Young produced the record Two-Way Street, they ordered the principality of Medici to order demons of rebellion to go into the record, and everybody that heard it would be rebellious against law and order and government. And it was one of the reasons for the great upheaval in the 60s was that one album. And they take open credit for it.
I have personally talked with Johnny Todd on the basis of Jack Chick's recommendation. Having known Johnny Todd now for more than 4 years, and my having known him for some 6 months, I believe that Johnny Todd is a genuinely converted man, saved by the grace of God out of the depths of Satanism.
The first thing they do is they write the script. The script is the first agenda in their propaganda and in their mission for corruption. Okay, it's the message of the script. Then they get the actors, and the actors are brainwashed over a period of time. And why is that? Because an actor will do anything they can in order to act. Most actors are very desperate. What's sad is they get a lot of children in these movies, and the children start buying the propaganda. So the next step is, now that they've kind of built their little network, they send their network out to promote the propaganda, and they release the movie, which is propaganda, into the homes of the other children, into the families, and they do it by way of sending out the actors to promote the movie and talk about it on all the talk shows. So you see, it's kind of like weaving a small web, and as the web goes out, it gets larger and larger, to the point where people are brainwashed over a period of 4, 5, 6, 10 years as Hollywood builds these propaganda movie stars.
I found when I was a 16-year-old, fresh from boarding school, going out into, on the casting couch, I was definitely objectified to an extreme. The kinds of roles and the kinds of things I was expected to do in auditions. I mean, there was one horrific incident where I went back for a second audition, and the director asked me to sit with my legs apart. The camera was right between, positioned where it could see up my skirt, to put my leg over the arm of the chair, and before I started my dialogue, think about the character that I was supposed to be having the dialogue with, and how it felt to be made love to by this person. And I was thinking, this is so strange, why would I need to do that? But this is the director, he is talking, there's the casting director.
It must be normal.
It must be normal. I'm 18 years old, and I'm thinking, this is obviously something that, I was in a protected, there were boundaries. And it turned out that the director who went on to make the film and who I was auditioning for used to show that video late at night to interested parties at
down, down, down. And I just can't believe my first love
Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Neanderman. Neanderman. Neanderman.
It's my life. Girl, get it, girl, get it, girl. To the front, to the side, to the back, but plus of the realize it calls your name. Let the beat wind you up and don't. Yes, I leave. They like the way we dance. They like the way we work. They like the way they laugh. Girl, we will work your lips. We will work your lips.
So the question is, what did Michael Jackson know about Blind 11? We all know Michael was supposed to have a meeting in the Slim Towers, but slept in that morning. But what you didn't know was the reason why he may have slept in. He had just completed a concert the night before in New York, Madison Square Gardens. And that's what we'll be covering in this video. I want to thank a friend from the Netherlands who had me take another look at this. The numbers and symbolism surrounding this concert are undeniable and seem to implicate Michael Jackson in the know of what would happen the following day. I'll present the evidence and let you decide what all of it means. Now, many will argue that he was just simply trying to warn us, but I disagree. When you know that thousands of people are going to die and millions more in wars fought because of it, you either go bold or you go home. This was a ritual, hands down. Let's begin. The bizarre tale begins with a 2-day concert that ended on September 10th, 2001. Yes, you heard me correctly. September 10th, 2001. It was MJ's 30th anniversary and 11 years since he had last performed live in the United States. This was the stage. And I want you to focus your attention at the top of the stage where you see concentric arches. And I want you to count the ones with 3 sides each. That's 3, 6, and 9. There are 9 total sides in that outer portion of the arches. And now when you count the interior, you get 11 sides. Now there are 3 concentric arches in the interior. So 3 times 11 is 33. That is the Hebrew year that the towers opened. Now this goes deeper. This isn't just grabbing and pulling at straws. This is the concert poster with 11 acts on one side and 16 on the other. And if you think that's a stretch, why don't you count the step faces leading up to the arches on the stage? There are 16. Now the DVD you see here depicts his name in a different way. It's stylized than you would see on the concert poster. It's the same image but modified, changed, updated, altered. Let me put this in perspective for you. They had to physically create the differences that you see here in the stylized type. And this one seems to encode 119 backwards, or blind 11. In this ABC article, dated the night of the concert, we see and hear about the bizarre atmosphere in full display during the concert. Marlon Brando removes his watch and seems to pray over it. almost implicate that time is up. Now, he goes on to explain that he was waiting 1 minute in silence to talk about tortured children. And the audience was very upset about this because he was talking about children being, I can't even say it on this video or it will be flagged. Multiple ways in which children could be tortured is what he spoke about in a 10-minute, very uncomfortable speech in which the crowd was booing. He rambled on for 10 minutes about children dying in various horrible ways.
It could be you. It could be your children. I had the pleasure of working for the United Nations. I worked for UNICEF for quite a long time.
The audience clearly was not in the mood for Brando's doom and gloom. They booed loudly while he admonished them. This is straight out of the ABC article. And then he yells out to them, "It could be you or your children." It wasn't until Brando invoked Michael's name and said that the star was giving money to build a hospital in Florida to help sick children that they stopped booing, and they were relieved when Brando left the stage. Now, what the ABC article doesn't tell you, and what you'll see in this clip of Brando, is that he tells people to go to michaeljackson.com several times to give their money. Now, we'll get into the hypocrisy of what that all entails later in this video. Finally, 2 hours in the show, Elizabeth Taylor introduces Michael Jackson and his brothers, who took the stage for the first time in 20 years, amid bursts of fireworks and flashing video message that said, "Brace yourselves." Is this all starting to make sense? Michael comes up out of the depths of the floor like he's coming up out of hell. He's got 6 plates on his back and 8 bootstraps on each leg. That's 88. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Slim Towers are 2 8-faced columns. And every year on Blind 11, they shine 88 xenon lights up into the sky in recognition of the 2 8-faced columns. Right in your face, and nobody saw it. It goes deeper. There are 11 set lights across the top of the stage. You can count them here. Now, Britney Spears was noticeably uncomfortable after a last-minute decision to appear due to a contract dispute, and she appears in a green dress. The concert ended with Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, and Usher performing "You Rock My World." And here you see Michael fall out between the 2 men. So I decided to look closer at these 2 men and Michael Jackson in this final act on September 10th, hours before the attack. Michael, born on August 29th. Then we had Usher, born on October 14th. And finally, we had Chris Tucker, born on August 31st. Now, when you insert Blind 11 into those dates, what you have is 2 dates, 2 days difference, 11 days difference, and 33 days difference. Remember, 3 buildings fell that day. So I wanted to look closer, so I looked into the music video for this song. And this is what I found. It features Michael in a bar confronting a gang competing for a girl, basically. It opens with the 88. Again, the 88 xenon lights, 2 8-faced columns of the Slim Towers. The 88 is in the doorway, in the windows of this restaurant. Halfway through the music video, we see the same twin octagons depicted as poker tables. Just after Michael and the girl he's after in the video both throw wads of money, which I believe represent the airplanes, at the tables, the money tables, which were the 2 poker tables, the slim towers, the money changers, like it's mentioned in the Bible. They throw the money at the tables. It lands perfectly on the King of Diamonds, which is the rarest card in the deck, by the way. Standard playing cards are 88 millimeters wide. This is the only card, this King of Diamonds, to have both one eye on the king and an axe. Now at this point, this is where things absolutely go off the rails, because this King of Diamonds has a secret occult known meaning. If you have played the cards for any length of time, you will have encountered the one-eyed cards. There are 2 one-eyed jacks in a standard deck of cards, but there's also a one-eyed king as well that has one eye. Of diamonds, the King of Diamonds. There's something unmistakably significant about these cards, and that's why they are most often regarded as the intuitive choice when selecting wild cards. The obvious reason why the cards are referred to as one-eyed is because they are shown in profile. So there's literally only one eye visible on the face card. The esoteric reasons are much more interesting. Odin, the one-eyed king. If you ask a gambling aficionado, they will tell you that the King of Diamonds is supposed to represent Julius Caesar. However, the real gamblers out there who collect stories from the old world know the real truth behind the particular tale. The one-eyed king symbolism is in reference to Odin, one of the major gods in Norse mythology. That's right, the King of Diamond Kingdom is also the King of Asgard. Why Odin? Well, according to legend, Odin sacrificed one of his eyes in exchange for secret wisdom of runes, a system of magic that employs special symbols and shapes for the purposes of divination and otherworldly effect, right there in Michael Jackson's video, the day before Blind 11. This is precisely why the King of Diamonds is shown on nearly every deck of cards, with his hand offering the diamond symbol to the viewer with one eye facing away. The eye is actually missing because it was sacrificed to attain the type of power that is only found buried in the mythological past, or World of Warcraft. This is all to say that the King of Diamonds is no normal ruler. He is a practitioner of the dark arts. There is one reason alone why aces will beat out the king. The King of Diamonds allows it. It's all part of his plan, written in the red stars. Now listen to this part. In the previous article, looking at the King of Hearts, we talk about the choice of weapons employed by the different lords of the playing card kingdom. In a true homage to Odin, who traditionally carries a spear, the King of Diamonds opts out of the sword, carried by the King of Spades, clubs, and most likely hearts. So all the other cards have swords on them, but the King of Diamonds is the only one to carry an axe with a long handle. Now you're going to hear why. The main thing to take note about is that he's not holding a spear. If you look at all the other kings in the deck of cards, they all have their swords firmly grasped in their hands, but the King of Diamonds has evolved his runic power to a point where he can control objects with his mind. Why use your hands to hold things when you can use the untapped power of the diamond shape? Take note of his other hand, solemnly offering up this jewel of the occult to any gambler who might take notice of what lies beyond. If you prove yourself worthy, some have said that the Diamond King will occasionally bestowing special powers on his disciples, like the ability to summon a full house post-flop on command. And this ritual concert that Michael Jackson was involved in seemed to be handing off the baton. It was the last time he would appear with the Jackson 5. And I believe it was his last album that charted. And he had all this parade of people who he was handing the baton off to in this concert. The diamond might be the least powerful suit in the deck, but when you see the one-eyed king in your hand, just remember that he is a god who chooses to inhabit a physical body and live among mortal men. The next time you consider folding, think again. You just might witness some magic. So if you got to the end of this decode and you're wondering why, how could a person like Michael Jackson, who has done so much for children, be involved or have foreknowledge of such wide-scale mass sacrifice? And I'll explain it to you. This is called emotional sorcery, duping delight, glee in the knowing of future events of mass sacrifice, and harnessing that energy before and after the event to maintain a firm hold on the hearts and minds of those they wish to control. They use these catalyzing events and they carefully place their pawns all around these events. They use the most influential of humanity, who then become the Pied Pipers of fate, forced into servitude through blackmail and threats. Threats of harm to them, their families, threats of being poor. They present to you the greatest of humanitarians and philanthropists to tighten their stranglehold on your emotions and reinforce their deception. They call on you, living paycheck to paycheck, to send in your scraps, when each of them could raise billions of dollars by simply giving away 90% of their income, which would still leave them to be millionaires. The hypocrisy is glaring, but few see it through the fog of deception. Now you can say anything you want about the celebrity worship on display at this concert. You can call me a hater or a critic. It isn't about that. The look on the faces of some of these fans who spent as much as $10,000 per seat was horrifying. But I watched the entire thing and I didn't hear Jesus Christ mentioned one time. He is the giver and the source of all love in this world. So if your inclination is to perceive this video as just another hater, ask yourself, what man could consume the souls of 1 billion people's affirmations and rarely, if ever, give credit where the credit is due? Ask yourself that. Take care and be safe, you guys.
It all came out of his own dark spirits that led him. It came from dark rituals that they were all involved in. The spirits are real. The rituals are real. I don't know if you know the nature of these demons. I don't know if you know the nature of these spirits. Let me go over a few of the things, because some of you who listen will feel within you the need to turn this off. The spirits will not want you to hear everything. So many of you have eyes wide shut. They've been shut by a dark Lord, by a dark presence, by something that has invaded your very personality, invaded your very mind. The nature of these dark spirits, number one. Over all the years that we've done exorcism and dealt with them and heard them, yes, I've heard them. They have screamed at me. They have cussed at me. They have spoken in other languages that I never understood. They have said things to me and attacked and threatened and cursed and everything you can think of. They've blasphemed the name of God. Notice something, for many of you Luciferians, they don't blaspheme the name of Buddha. They don't blaspheme the name of Muhammad. They don't blaspheme the name of Quetzalcoatl. They don't blaspheme the name of gods and goddesses. They blaspheme the name of the living God, of the living Christ. They have a hatred. We'll come to that in a few moments, but please understand, if you have these spirits within you, you do not know the dark nature. You do not know the intelligence and the design and the agenda that's really behind them. If you're embracing the dark spirits, conjuring the dark spirits, if they're indwelling the personalities within, if they're indwelling the programming within, then you do not know the real nature of these demonic beings. You've seen a mask, you've seen smoke, and you've seen mirrors of who they may proclaim themselves to be. Yes, in your rituals, they can be powerful. In your rituals where there is no light, in that darkness, in those ancient rituals where there is no light and the black flame burns in your midst, they reign freely. They reign where human hearts have opened and allowed themselves to be completely transmuted. Number one, they stay hidden. They love to stay hidden. They don't want you to know who they are. They don't want you to know their real nature. They don't want you to know their real agenda. They stay hidden. Their agenda stays hidden. Their purpose stays hidden. Their connection stays hidden. And the level of their power, the level of their ability stays hidden. They proclaim themselves something far beyond what they really are. They dazzle you. They show you. They make you feel the lust. They make you feel the energy. They make you feel the power. They stay hidden. They stay hidden. And I'm not sure that you really know the nature of what they really are. They all have assignments. Number two, they have assignments within them. These spirits, again and again, as I've dealt with them, speaking out of the mouths of human beings. Speaking out of the mouths of human beings who have performed the rituals, who have conjured and who have been there. Human beings whom others have conjured the spirits and put them on them and put them on you. Really, where have you been? What ritual have you seen? What terror in the night have you observed? What blood ran? What energy was invoked? Pain and torture and terror and sexual pleasures, all combined in a mixture, a confusion. I want to ask you right now, what air do you breathe in your dark ritual? What air do you breathe? What name do you conjure? You call them by name. You do rituals by precision, and you invoke them, and they come. They grant you pleasures, they grant you powers, they grant you abilities, and you want more, and you want more. And you've seen them tear up human lives. You've seen them in the ritual. You've seen them. You've been warned. Even you have feared their presence. Even you have feared their presence. Did you know about these dark spirits in those dark rituals? Number 4, they are all Antichrist, Antichristu. They are against Christ. They love to use humanity. They love to shred humanity. As I read them and listen to them and hear them through, the lives of those who have been possessed, I see that they literally are disgusted with humanity and use humanity only as a staging ground. That's what your life is, a staging ground, a doorway. They need to use your life like a bridge from their world to this world, to influence others, to bring more. They're just simply using your life as a bridge. Your life is simply a doorway to the other side, and they've come in and they've brought others in, and they're coming through you, and they're using you, and sometimes you don't even know what they're doing in your life. They are dark spirits. They come in the midst of dark rituals. They come in that Luciferic invocation, the invocation of the Antichrist. They come in the black mass. They come in small rituals, in little bonding rituals, in sex rituals, in blood rituals. They come in all of that marriage to the beast, in the hands of glory. They come in those nights of the satanic revels, demon revels, in the days of abduction. And though you feel you have the light, Mason, though you feel you have a light bearer, Theosophical Society, though the black nobility, those on the Isle of Malta, those in St. Paul's Cathedral in the Vatican, those across the nation, even in Bohemian Grove, you call upon Moloch and Rahab, and you call upon the Baals, and you call upon new spirits, ancient ones. They've been around for millennia. They are beyond you. They're beyond your human reason. Fallen human reason cannot perceive them. Fallen human reason and fallen human intellect cannot perceive what they really are, what they really want, what they're really going to do in using you as a staging ground, in using your life. That's right. Try to begin to back away from them. That's right. Try to begin to say, you know what? I no longer want you, operating in my life. To those in the military that have opened up in those dark places, in those sub-projects, in the NSA, using the equipment, being an intuitive, seeking what you think maybe are alien intelligences. And you're correct. They are alien intelligences. And they are being invoked by the very precision, the very statutes that they've laid out. They've told you how they will allow you to come to them, how they will allow you to see what they are like. They are ancient spirits, dark spirits, angry spirits. They are anti-Christu, they are anti-human. And they are bent on revenge against the human race, against the Corpus Christi. You remember the dark presence. You remember the words. So many of you need to understand. I know some of you, personalities, you live in fear over these things. And I'm going to share with you another spirit who's fighting for you, another spirit who's looking and searching and seeking you. Even you high Luciferians, you elitists, there in those double basements, in those castles, in those places where you've taken over in churches, in those Catholic black rooms. So many of you Luciferians infiltrated the Catholic Church. Your agenda, pieces of it have been revealed. You waller in the dark side, the spirits. They preoccupy you with the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the lust of what man has and does. This fifth rant to you, the Luciferians, to you who are losing your soul, to you who are completely drenched in deception, soaked in seduction, and bound in a blindedness that comes directly from the ancient fallen cherub. All of them know who Jesus Christ is. All of them know who He really is. In case after case after case after case after case, when I have commanded them by the authority of the living Christ, they have confessed freely. They have confessed freely. I command them, and in the front of in the sight, in the ears of all those in the room, I command them, who truly is the Lord of heaven and earth, under the authority of Jesus, you speak now and confess who is the Lord of heaven and earth. And demon after demon and power demon after power demon have hated to say it, have cringed in saying it, and screamed it out, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. And then they are kicked out to the abyss, to wherever the Lord wants them to go, away by the authority of the Lord Jesus. They know Jesus, and they know those whom have the authority of Jesus. Like in the Word of God, when the demons spoke through that man, before the demon exercised supernatural human strength through that demonized individual to beat up those who did not know Christ, who did not have the power and authority of God, who tried to use Jesus' name like New Agers do, like so many cults do, using Jesus' name like a rabbit's foot to get rid of dark presence and negative energy, yet that negative energy shifts and moves. You're so seduced. You're so deceived. You are so darkened by this black flame. They are millennia ahead of you, and you have no hope in your own mind. How are you going to get out of your life what is now in your life? How are you going to battle the demons within? How are you going to rid yourselves of the presence of those beings that at one point in your life, in those rituals, some of you Wiccans and pagans and Druids and others, you've invited them in. Some of you that are just simply psychopathically, oriented to the dark side, and allowed them to come in for your own sexual lust, for your own bloodlust, for your own violence. You know those spirits, how filthy they are. You know those spirits and how ugly they are. You know those spirits and how absolutely twisted and bent. You know those spirits that literally lead you to the point of insanity, to twist your mind. Oh, they don't want to destroy it. They want to use it. They don't want to destroy your body. That's why they want to keep you alive as living, used, controllable human flesh, as the staging ground, as the bridge, so they can operate not only in, but through. They don't give a damn about you. If they are in you now, they are revolting to this message. They don't want to hear this message. They don't want to listen to this message. They are going to be cussing at me, cussing at this voice, hatred towards me. They want you to do your rituals against me. They want violence against me. They want to use that vulgar language, filthy language. They want to rip me to shreds, don't they? Don't they? Don't they? It is the Christ in me. It is the living Christ in me whom they hate yet fear. And I rebuke them now in His name. I bind their activity in His name, and I pray for a supernatural demonstration of the authority of Christ in you and over you. God, in the name of Jesus, I bind those spirits, those powers, that darkness, in the name of Jesus Christ.
Transform ya, I can transform ya, I can transform ya. Anything you want, I can get it for ya. Get my baby girl, so you know I did it for ya. Feel it, now I need to swear, baby, I'm making way off to the midnight. Oh, when you do it, you more slash, you more slash, you more slash, you more slash.
Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. Isn't it interesting just how obviously demonic the Hollywood system has become as the years have gone on? There's no doubt that the culture coming out of Hollywood is garbage. Even those people who are less aware of these things among us can tell that there's just something wrong with modern entertainment. Lately it seems that every other TV show coming out, every other movie, and even the most popular songs at the top of the charts are talking about the devil or devil worship. There is an obvious agenda coming out of Hollywood. All you have to do is turn on a computer, turn on a TV, listen to a popular song, and it's right there in front of you. And as I've looked at this compilation myself, it's a real eye-opener. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. Why is it that so many celebrities are talking about deals with the devil, or relationships with the devil, or falling in love with the devil? I think many of us know the answer to this question. This is a very real phenomenon. And if it wasn't real or really happening, this many people wouldn't be referencing this idea of deals with the devil, or selling your soul to the devil. Keep this in mind throughout the video as we cover many of these celebrities and the things they've said about their relationship with the devil. This is the answer to the question, why is Hollywood so filthy and disgusting and debaucherous? What's happening? What's running Hollywood? And I believe it's the same entity running Hollywood that essentially is behind the entire beast system of the world itself. The ultimate enemy of mankind. So without further ado, let's get started. In one of his songs, rapper 50 Cent is quoted as saying, "Sell his soul for cheap, let's make a deal, sell me your soul. Designer of the devil, I'm Satan's angel, across the street from Lucifer." In one of Aaron Lewis's songs, he sings, "I sold my soul to the devil in L.A. He said sign your name here on the dotted line and all your songs they will play." Singer Aaron Tippin sang, "Some sell their soul for the easy road. The devil's always buying. I can't count the ones I've known who fell right into line." British glamour girl, pin-up model, and sometimes actress Abby Titmus has admitted in interviews that she sold her soul to the devil. West Coast hip-hop pioneer Alonzo Williams was quoted in an interview as saying that Dr. Dre told me he sold his soul to the devil for $1 million. In one of his songs, hip-hop artist A$AP Rocky says, "Demons posted all around me. I can't beat them all alone. On the road to riches, diamond rings, designer jeans. Now my soul is feeling empty. Tell the Reaper come and get me." In the song titled "Satan is My Master," singer Ben Folds from the band Ben Folds 5 says, "Satan is my master, he always has been." Singer and actress Bette Midler is quoted in an interview as saying, "I sold my soul. I bought these devil chains." In an interview with singer Billy Ray Cyrus, he was speaking about his daughter Miley Cyrus when he said, "My family is under attack by Satan. I'm scared for my daughters." Rapper Ab Soul is quoted as saying, "I'm just a demon that means well, freelance for God, but I do the work for Satan." In the song called "Reunion" by the band Black Sabbath, they sing, "I'm paying the price now for selling my soul. I sold my soul. Look into my eyes, you'll see who I am. My name is Lucifer, please take my hand." Legendary artist Bob Marley tried to warn us of this satanic industry in his song "Sinner Man," where he sings, "Sinner man, where are you going to run to? You run to the devil. The devil was waiting. You're saying prayers to the devils. So they build their world in great confusion, to force on us the devil's illusion. Everywhere this fire is burning, destroying and melting their gold and wasting their souls. Don't gain the world and lose your soul. Just don't lose your soul. Wisdom is better than silver and gold." 80s new wave band Bow Wow Wow actually had a song called "The Prince of Darkness," And in the song they sing, "So open the door and let Satan in, the Prince of Darkness." While promoting his movie Moneyball, actor Brad Pitt was quoted as saying, "I could really try on something different for myself. That was Satanism. It's working out really well. I made a pact. That's why." Popular singer and former judge on the TV show The Voice, CeeLo Green, is quoted as saying, "I called out to God, but the devil keeps answering." Deceased rapper Eazy-E, formerly of NWA, once said, "Get thee behind me, Satan, and push me along. I'm kin to the devil." The lead singer of the band Evanescence says, "I've come to believe my soul's on the other side. Without a soul, save me from my dark. I sold my soul. Don't try to fix me." Lead singer from the band Florence and the Machine sings, "And to take your soul, I am damned, so here's to drinks in the dark at the end of my road, and I'm ready to suffer, found the devil in me." Before his passing, Jerry Garcia was a lead singer of the band The Grateful Dead, and in one of their songs he sings, "A friend of the devil is a friend of mine." The singer Jewel once said, "So you bargain with the devil, there ain't nothing for free."
Release me from this curse I'm in, trying to maintain, but I'm struggling. Ever see you not the sunrise?
Murder, murder, Jesus. Don't let me make up for the things you like. Don't fucking go ahead, be gone with it. Go ahead, be gone with it. Go ahead, be gone with it.
It's Britney, bitch. Feels like no one else in the room. I swear no one else. Every time you fly. Give me,
you want a piece of me.
This is, oh my god, that Britney shameless. You want a piece of me. This is extra, extra, it's just in.
You want a piece of me.
See, she's
See it all me.
she loves see when we sing it, she right now, Moses
See it all me.
You see, it takes a long time to change the minds of a population, but it's something that is constantly happening in literature, fashion, music, and the media. A very common theme you will see amidst this androgynous agenda is the usage of Freemasonic and even Hindu teachings, with the common link between these two religious teachings being Jewish mysticism. This is about the occultist agenda behind normalizing androgyny and transsexualism, and how that in itself stems from a Luciferian principle, one that's being pushed by the globalist elite, and obviously the common link between Freemasonry and Judaism is the Kabbalah. Adept occultists believe that the god of the physical earth is the demiurge. They believe that this demiurge, false god, has us trapped in bondage, trapped in physicality. They also believe that the only way to ascend above this physicality is through the mystical process of destruction and rebirth, in which both masculinity and femininity are combined to ascend to a higher spiritual plane. Through this alchemic process, one is able to cast aside their duality. Because they believe the god of the cosmos, or the spiritual world, which sits above the demiurge, is androgynous and is not defined by being male or female, but is a combination of the two. But the process of becoming androgynous requires the unshakable commitment and the courage to undergo the rebirthing journey. In the quest of wholeness, the person becomes increasingly aware that he or she is a contrasexual person, looking to join himself or herself with the energies of both the feminine and masculine modes of being human. So in hopes of understanding this and to shine a little bit of light on this, the reason for becoming androgynous goes back to the Shekinah glory, as the Talmudic mystics refer to God as being both male and female. This also becomes clearer in Kabbalism, where they refer to the cosmic primordial nature of the universe as being androgynous. So in order to rise above duality and karma, which occultists believe are traps of the demiurge and of the physical world, one must commit himself to the spiritual journey of becoming androgynous. Echoing Hindu teachers, to rebirth into androgyny is the wondrous paradox. It is to learn how to dance, metaphorically, the dance of Shiva and Shakti.
Shot, 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 shot. Everybody get pop, pop, pop. The big ol' run, 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 run. Shot, 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 shot.
To make a loud presence for me, and it just made sense because it was just like, yo, the colorful hairs, people, gay kids get bullied, and I wanted people to test me, like, you know what I'm saying? I always in school used to get expelled for fighting, transferred. You know, when you get suspended, they send you to another school. And I always thumped when I was a kid, so like.
Kachi has been booked for a teen party, which is causing like a ton of controversy. After the parents in this particular borough discovered that the rapper admitted to posting on social media videos of him and another man participating in sex acts with an underage girl 3 years ago, how is this acceptable for teen girls? Now, after a lot of parents were concerned in that particular area and were talking to the promoters and the club owners or the lounge owners, this particular event has been called off. Now, the manager, he only wanted to be identified as Brian, said that the lounge canceled the rapper's performance after it was published in an article Thursday afternoon about the artist's crime sex record. With the parents being concerned about his record, they end up putting enough pressure on the club and they end up canceling it. Now the article further reads, while the event billed online by its promoter, the Trap Club, as the hottest teen party in the U.S., is still allowed to go on. It's unclear if it will happen, the manager said. The 6ix9ine is the hottest artist around. The kids love him and his music. Still, the rapper's name 6ix9ine is apparent reference to a sexual act. Basically, this whole article goes off into really breaking down the sex case like in detail like crazy. Saying 2015 posted 3 videos of him and another man, Taekwon Anderson, and an underage girl engaging in sexual acts on social media, according to the allegations and criminal complaint. In the first video, the nude girl was performing oral sex. The alleged incident occurred in Harlem in February of 2015. The girl was 13 years old at the time, according to the source with knowledge of the. Now the manager, he only wanted to be identified as Brian, said that the lounge canceled the rapper's performance after it was published in an article Thursday afternoon about the artist's crime sex record. The rapper pled guilty. According to the spokesman for the Manhattan District Office, the rapper pled guilty to use of a child in sexual performance October 2015.
It's so funny how they accuse me of being a rapist. But look at the settings. Ha! Different city, 30,000 in a bag. There's so much money. Just spending money. Ha! Look at me. Flawless. I'm such a happy rapist. And I'm free.
We're gonna take over the world, like, you know what I'm saying? So we went overseas and took and conquered the whole Europe, South America, Africa. We conquered. I blew up internationally before I came back.
Unfortunately, the indoctrination of our children is beginning to take hold. As Satan gathers his army in preparation to persecute believers, we can see the beginning of the lawless militant LGBT movement.
Plakat om död åt borgarna och gör de rika till kattmat skulle kunna ses som en ungdomsrevolt om det inte var för kopplingarna till våldsbejakande vänsterextremism.
Fortsättningen ska Sverige inte finnas alls.
Men i blocket går flera organisationer och individer. Vad tycker du om att du inte kan ta med ditt barn på Pride? Ja, det är jobbigt.
During an interview back in 2004, actor and comedian Jim Carrey once said, "There ain't no Bibles in Hollywood. I'm pretty hip since I've been worshiping the dark one." Singer and poet Jim Morrison once said, "I met the spirit of music. It was an appearance of the devil. I saw Satan." In the mid-60s, singer John Lennon told his friend Tony Sheridan, quote, "I've sold my soul to the devil." On more than one occasion, singer Kanye West has flatly stated, "I sold my soul to the devil." During a song she was performing at Whitney Houston's funeral, singer Alicia Keys actually said in the song, "Thank you, Lucifer, for guiding me." In 1979, singer Chris Christopherson had a song called "Shaking Hands with the Devil," and in the song he says, "I'll do anything I can to win you from the world. It's something that my senses can't control. Shake hands with the devil, I want your soul." In her song "Judas," singer Lady Gaga says, "Judas is the demon I cling to. I'm in love with Judas. I am beyond repentance. I want your soul. I swear to Lucifer, my Lucifer." In one of Lil Wayne's songs, he raps, "Sold my soul to the devil. She got the devil in her. I do whatever I want. Hell's angel. Dance with the devil. Devil on my shoulder. Love me like Satan." In one of his songs, rapper Ludacris says, "Lucifer, oh Lucifer, god of evil, you're the god of pain. The darkness is where you find your light." The lead singer of the band Tool flatly stated in an interview, "I sold my soul to make a record." Rapper Tupac once said, "I sold my soul. Selling my soul for material wishes, fast cars and bitches. Am I cold, or is it just I sold my soul? Gamble for your soul with the devil. Is this my destiny? No one was there when I took the wrong path. Tell the Lord they got my mind, but he can have the rest of me. I wish I could turn back the time, resist the temptation." Famous football player Barry Sanders was actually quoted in an interview saying, "You see, God gave us the talent, but the devil makes us famous." Elton John's longest-running collaborator, Bernie Taupin, once said in an interview that Elton John's home is laden with trinkets and books all relating to Satanism and witchcraft. Rapper Bishop Lamont says, "I'm half crazy, but I know the devil is real. I should know. I signed a record deal." In his song "Homebound Train," singer John Bon Jovi sings, "The devil took me by the hand, took me from my home. He made me a man." Singer Brian Williams from legendary band The Beach Boys was quoted in an interview as saying, "We were doing witchcraft. We were trying to make witchcraft music." And in one of his songs, singer Bruce Springsteen says, "Dancing in the dark, does fortune wait or just the black hand of fate? It'll take your God-filled soul, fill it with devils." In a song by the band Daughtry, which is called Renegade, singer Chris Daughtry sings, "Talking about a deal with the devil. I said about selling your soul. I'm staring out into the night, trying to hide the pain. I'm going to the place where love and feeling good don't ever cost a thing. I'm not running from, no, I think you got me all wrong. I don't regret this life I chose for me." Rapper Chris Palco, who goes by the name Cage, flatly stated in an interview, "I sold my soul to the devil." Hank Williams III says, "And I flirted with the devil and he dealt me a card. He told me that you will never win, so I sold my soul to the devil. I never thought it could be this bad, and I got the devil taking me away." In her song Any Other Day, singer and actress Hilary Duff sings, "And the devil comes to bring you a fate you could never imagine in your wildest dreams." In his song I Used to Have Money One Time, singer Jimmy Buffett says, "I made a deal with the devil for a whole lot of money." We also have legendary singer and guitarist Little Richard, who many years ago said, "I was directed and commanded by another power, the power of darkness, that a lot of people don't believe exists, the power of the devil, Satan." In his song Magic Touch, singer Robin Thicke says, "I took whatever the devil would offer me." In 2009, during an online podcast called Under Pressure, Selena Gomez signed her first record deal with Hollywood Records, and she stated flatly, "It's like I'm selling my soul to Hollywood Records." In the song How Bad Do You Want It, singer Tim McGraw sings, "The devil took his soul. There's always a price you pay no matter what you do. If you're going to climb to the top of that mountain, it always comes down to how bad do you really want it. You've got to lay it all on the line." In an interview, Geezer Butler from the band Black Sabbath said, "I'd sort of dabbled in black magic, not practicing it, but I was interested in it. All these horrible things kept happening to me. A lot of my aunts and uncles started dying, and I was seeing all these bloody things visiting me during the night." Legendary jazz percussionist Ginger Baker once said in an interview, "It happens to us quite often. It feels as though I'm not playing my instrument, something else is playing it. The same thing is playing all three of our instruments. That's what I mean when I say it's frightening sometimes. Maybe we'll all play the same phrase out of nowhere. It happens very often with us." Legendary film actress Greta Garbo once said in an interview, "I didn't have anyone to whom I could talk freely, so I went to occultists, devil worshippers, mind readers, and those who occupied themselves with the summoning of spirits. Because I believed in life after death, I kept trying to talk to my father. During my dreams I heard their voices, these terrible, angry voices." James Dean was into Satanism, and he once publicly stated, "I have a fairly adequate knowledge of satanic forces." He also believed that another entity would inhabit him when he was acting. He described it as a, quote, "sort of two people in the same skin, a telescoping back from the other. The person inside would seem to drift up to the surface of my skin." Pop star Janelle Monáe once said in an interview, "There are demons in my eyes. I had to get them out. It's like a spiritual outer body experience. I sometimes feel very possessed." In an interview, legendary musician Jimi Hendrix once said, "I can explain everything better through music. You hypnotize people, and when you get people at their weakest point, you can preach into the subconscious what we want to say. That's why the name of Electric Church flashes in and out. People won't release any kind nowadays. The idea is to release it in proper form. Then they'll feel like going into another world, a more clear world. The music flows from the air. That's why I connect with the spirit, and when they come down off of this natural high, they can see clearer. They can feel things differently now." John Frusciante from the band Red Hot Chili Peppers said in an interview once, "There were beings of higher intelligence controlling what I was doing, and I didn't know how to talk about it or explain it, but it was very clear to me that the music was coming from somewhere other than myself." John Lennon is once quoted as saying, "It's like being possessed, like a psychic or a medium. I felt like a hollow temple filled with many spirits, each one passing through me, each inhabiting me for a little time and then leaving to be replaced by another one." In an interview, Johnny Depp once said, "Sometimes I feel like I'm possessed with a multitude of demons." During an interview, actor Keanu Reeves once said, "I attempt to connect with my muse and go on demon rides." Actor Kevin Bacon is quoted as saying during an interview, "Demons under the surface, and as an actor you have to keep them bubbling up." Famous actress and model Marilyn Monroe was once quoted in an interview as saying, "Jekyll and Hyde, there's more than two. I am so many people. They actually shock me sometimes. I wish it was just me." During an interview, Michael Jackson was once quoted as saying, "I wake up from dreams and I go, wow, put this down on paper. The whole thing is strange. You hear the words, everything is right there in front of your face. I feel that somewhere, someplace it's been done, and I'm just a courier bringing all of this into the world. When I hit the stage, it's all of a sudden a magic from somewhere that comes, and the spirit, it just hits you, and you just lose control of yourself. During an interview, Robin Williams was quoted as saying, "A voice will tell me either to take a role or not, and if I want to travel, that same voice will let me know whether or not the journey will be a safe one." So there you have it. I wanted to give you multiple examples of this to really fill in the blanks. Because many of us have seen these celebrities talking about such things, we've seen the interviews, we've heard the songs, but when you're just hearing it from time to time or just seeing like one interview at a time, it doesn't really have the same impact until you can have some form of a compilation. Once you see how often people in Hollywood are talking about such things, there's no denying what it is that's actually running that industry. It is a sick system. This is the Hollywood beast system. It is a massive mind control manipulation tool against the people, against us. So I'll leave you with that for now. I really appreciate you checking out the video. Thank you very much.